Okay. Hi guys, so today I want to take some time out to talk about mental health and how I try to take care of my mental health in med school.
Meli Chukwu. Meli!
Cause baby, we were made for more. Darling, we were made for love. I was made for love. So baby, don't tolerate me.
And maybe some suggestions for you, just in life in general, pursuing your dreams, not pursuing your dreams, just chilling, whatever you're doing in life. Like, I want to share like some background and some stories and some mindsets from my life in hopes that it will help you enjoy your mental health better. Okay, so background information I'll start with is as a child I had some trauma that I like came out in the wrong way, so like in pain and anger and everything, and I felt like I was always doing something wrong. Like I didn't know how to control my emotions, which with what 5-year-old knows how to control their emotions, but I didn't know how to control my emotions, and I was always being punished for it, and I always felt like, guys, this is not a therapy session, this is going somewhere. Okay, so I always felt like there was something wrong with me, and like, oh my gosh, why can't I just get it together? Like, why can I just be happy like everyone and everything? But I felt like performing in school and doing well in school and having that gift was like a time and a space that I felt okay with myself. Like I felt like, oh, there's something good about myself. Like I'm, of course, from my accent, you know, I'm Nigerian, and Nigerians, they really prioritize academic performance and, you know, doing well in school and working hard. So when I was able to check that box, the adults in my life, of course, they're trying to encourage me and, you know, push me forward. But that affirmation, pouring that affirmation, mostly only when, well, I won't say only, but mostly when I performed academically, taught my childhood brain that my worth and my value and my specialness was based on performing well academically, because that was the only time that I could consistently get affirmation and get love and feel like I was okay. That I could forget that something was wrong with me, that I had pain and, you know, all that stuff going on in my childhood and in my life. So that, and over the years, you know, like, keep performing well, the system, the world we're living in is going to keep encouraging that. Like, you're like, oh, you make more money, or, you know, like, oh my gosh, you're so smart, and like that teachers in school would make it look like doing well academically was some sort of virtue. It was some sort of like, wow, like somehow you're better than everybody else, or somehow it's kind of like you're superior to people because you understand things faster, you understand things better, and make you feel inferior when you don't understand something, when you don't get something, like with impatience, or like, you know, even insulting you, calling you stupid and all of that. Like, they might think it's careless, but like, children listen to these things and children take this seriously. Like, when you tell a child they're stupid or you say any careless word, like, they take it as like you are identifying them. Anyways, so I feel like that was just what put me on the track of like always performing, always achieving. And of course, I had like dreams and goals, and that being able to like achieve them like gave me self-confidence and, like, you know, self-efficacy, knowing that I can achieve things. But it becomes dangerous when you tie your worth and your value to your achievements. Okay. And I think that is where the root cause, or like that, I won't say the root cause, but that is a very that's a very big factor, right? Because performing well and performing highly is equated with getting love, it's equated with feeling worthy, is equated with feeling valuable. So everybody wants to feel valuable. So if you stop feeling valuable when you stop working, then of course you're going to work as long as you physically can, because we're made for love, we are worthy as human beings, we are worthy, and believing the lie. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. So that is, I think, one thing that drives people to go overboard and not give themselves a break. For me now, coming back to practically, when I first started medical school, or like right before I started medical school, so when I grew up with my dad, and we used to exercise every once in a while, but it wasn't like an everyday thing, like just like you eat every day, you have to exercise every day. No, it was like sometimes when my dad is exercising, we just join him and he teaches us some moves and everything. So we knew that exercise was beneficial, but it wasn't like, oh, this is something you need to be doing. Like it wasn't like a mandatory every day, maybe like 2-3 times a week and everything, like to not add weight. That was the goal of exercise, to not add weight, right? So or to not to like maintain, you get what I mean, you got me, right? So I got a gym membership before medical school, and I knew I wanted to like do more in my health and like physical exercise and meet my goals. But when I was coming to medical school, I knew there was a part of me that was like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to, because of all the work and all the school. Because then in my mind, medical school was the most important thing, and maybe when I finish all the work I have to do with medical school, then hopefully if I have some time, I'm going to be able to exercise, I'm going to be able to eat well, and take care of myself, because of course work is more important than my life. No, I'm just joking. But that was my mindset coming into medical school. But when I finished first year, and I think my wake up call was when I like failed a module for the first time, and I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay, so does that mean I'm starting first year, which is the most difficult year at my school because you're doing anatomy and everything? I was like, does that mean I'm starting first year all over again? So before I got to speak to, like, I'm sure they told us this in orientation, but I was like, I'll never fail a module, so I don't need this information. But before I spoke to my module director, I had like this period of maybe 3 days thinking about, wow, so that's how like a whole year of my life would have been wasted. Like I was thinking of alternatives, because I was like, I'm not going through this first year again. Like my hope was like, okay, we're done with first year, it gets easier, which it did. But I was like, I'm not going through this again. So I think that for me, I was always taught growing up that education is the one thing that nobody can take from a woman, blah blah blah, which is good and empowering. But I realized in that moment that education can't be taken from you, and that at the end of the day, physically, the only thing you have is your health and yourself, and investing in yourself should always be priority. So I decided, I'm going to keep. Eventually, I didn't have to repeat it. I just had to remediate and take an exam, a final exam, and go over everything. And thankfully I didn't have to like retake that year, but that would have been so stressful for me anyways. But I realized that, I think that was when I was my wake up call, that no, Melly, like your health is more important. Your health is the most important natural thing you have to take care of. That like career is not everything, like work is not everything, achievement is not everything, at least it's not more than your health. And when it starts getting to the point where you feel like it's the most important thing, and I think that's like mistaken priorities, in my opinion. So that time I decided, no, I'm going to prioritize my health. There are some, as an overachiever, which to me was a badge of honor all my life. Oh geez, like I'm an overachiever, like that was a badge of honor because it makes me feel special, right? But as an overachiever, what that tells me is that I have room. I don't have to do everything, right? I don't have to do everything I'm doing. I have room and I'll still be good. So I can do less, significantly less than I'm doing at that point, and I'll still be fine and I'll still be good. So I decided that I'm going to change my mindset of what it means to maximize my potential, because my mantra all of life has been maximize your potential, like be the best you can, blah blah blah, all quoted in this veil, behind this veil of like like living your life to the fullest, and like really making use of, like making the most of your life. That's the nice way to say. But what it really was idolatry of achievement, and like because my worth is placed in that, like pursuing that, that's basically what it was. But I changed my mindset of what it means to maximize my life and to live my life to the fullest, from climbing the highest I can in my career to being the healthiest version of myself in all areas of my life. Okay, so if I am maximizing in my career but my relationships are dying and my emotional health is dying and I'm not even enjoying the life I'm living, then no, that's not success anymore. That is not maximizing. That is lopsided, and that's focusing on one aspect of your life, but that's not maximizing your life, because your life, my life, I realized, was not based, guys, it feels like I'm preaching to you, sorry, it's just, yeah, my life does not consist only of work. Okay, so there's work, there's my spiritual life, there's emotions, there's family, there's relationships. So maximizing and living my life to the fullest has to account for all those parts and things I'm not even mentioning now, for all those parts of my life, for me to live a holistic life. That to me was what I had to change my definition of maximizing to, and to change my definition of success around. At the end of the day, have I done my best? Didn't mean did I do as many assignments as I could? It didn't mean that anymore. No, it meant, did I take care of myself in every way that I could that day, and everything that pertains to me? So yes, did I do my work, but also, did I eat well that day? Did I work out? Did I take care of my body? Did I take care of my emotional health? Did I check in on my loved ones? Like, that is success to me, and I feel like that is the way I have been able to achieve some sort of mental health now. Like, I feel like I'm in a much better place emotionally than I was my first year, not only because first year was more stressful, but because my priorities, now when I don't get an assignment or when I forget to do something, I'm not like, oh my gosh, the world is ending, because that's the mindset I had. And it's almost like, oh, because of course, like I don't know if you know this, but in Nigeria, like, if you don't do your homework, if you didn't do your homework growing up in school, you get spanked, you get flogged in school, right? So it's almost like I still carried that fear, like, oh my gosh, like the world is ending, like something is terribly wrong if I miss a homework or miss an assignment, and that was super stressful. Now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I did my best, I did everything that needs to be graded tomorrow, I studied everything I could while balancing the other aspects of my life, and that's fine. If I forgot to do something, tomorrow is another day. There's always going to be work in medical school. Like, it's not the end of the world. Before, I used to see myself as a failure when I didn't perform right, but I'm like, no, I'm not a failure, because my life doesn't consist only of work. Okay, this video is getting long, but I think you guys get my point. So practical steps, what I do now is I wake up every morning after my devotion, my time with Jesus. I work out with my brother, I drink my protein shake real quick, go shower, then start class. Okay, and then after class, with the time, I review and do stuff. But before I would sacrifice that exercise time. Now I prioritize that exercise time. So at a point where it's like I have 30 minutes left in the day and I have an assignment I haven't finished, versus I haven't worked out for that day. Previous Melly would have been like, oh no, let me finish the assignment, because I'm an overachiever. But now I'm like, if the assignment isn't really graded, if it's not emergency, I'll work out. Okay, I'll work out, because this career, anything can change anytime. Like, anything can be taken from you. So yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to say. Like, I just had to change my mindset. On what was most important in life. Like, practically, like yesterday or 2 days ago, like this weekend, my family came over and I was really struggling inside, because I really wanted to spend time with them, but that responsibility, I should be studying, I should be doing schoolwork and everything. And I knew that I could still do the schoolwork. Like, it's not like I was drowning in schoolwork. Like, I could still do it. I just like to do things on time so it doesn't roll over, overachieve, make sure it's perfectly when it's supposed to be, blah blah blah. But I've just been feeling like a tug, especially with my youngest brother. I feel like I've been ignoring him a lot. He always wants to play with me and talk to me, and I'm always busy. So I was like, no, I'm going to skip these lectures. It's not like they weren't attendance, they weren't mandatory lectures. It's something that I recorded, I could go back and watch. And I was like, no, I'm just going to skip session. I'm just going to sit with him, and we sat together and listened to music and he was like cracking jokes and everything. I really enjoyed that time. Like, he really filled my soul, and he was so happy that happened. So yeah, I just think that I think it's very helpful for you to define like what success means to you in life and what is valuable to you. I value family, I value time, I value like relationships. Yes, I value work, but like, you know, like, live your life based on what you value, not what other people value or what other people feel like you should value. Okay, like, just because you grew up in a family where they valued like career does not mean that if you don't value that the most, that you don't have to keep living your life according to their standards. What I'm trying to say, like, find out your standards, especially as an adult. Find out what your standards are and live according to that. Success looks different for everybody, but you're not going to be happy if you live your life based on somebody else's definition of success and not your definition of success. There's some people who love work, like it fills them, like it's everything to them. I'm not that kind of person. I cannot live that kind of life, and some people find so much joy living that. So go ahead and do that if that's you. But if that's not you, don't feel like you have to live somebody else's life or live according to somebody else's standard. You define what success means to you. You define what is significant to you, and don't let other people's ideas of what should be important to you defer you from like living the life you want to live. Okay, that's what I want to say. It's past 16 minutes now. Okay, bye. Love you. I hope this helps. I really do. I really hope it helps. Like, I feel like there's so much stress, like even in people as young as like 10, 11. Like, what are you stressing out about, you know? But it's like that whole expectation thing. Like, no, you're valuable before you, even if you can't do anything for anybody else, like, you're valuable, period. You're worthy because you're a human being, and that's enough. Bye guys, hope you have a beautiful day. Love you.